Alright, guys, this is the Soy Boy Show with your host, Brendan Sullivan, and...
Shane Sullivan.
I'm sorry, okay. Interrupt me there, bro.
Sorry.
Alright, we're going to kick off the show with
excited.
A little too excited. Alright, we're gonna start the show off with a movie called Zootopia. If anybody's not heard of it before, I don't know where you live, but you live under a rock for sure. We don't know what we're going to talk about for the rest of the time, so we're gonna wing it. And so Zootopia.
Zootopia is like the new kids movie out, right?
The new Disney movie.
Yeah, it's a new Disney movie. I don't want to say if it's kids movie because there's
Bloody hell.
clearly some references to things that are only adults
not kids
will
movie.
get. Yeah.
I mean, not kids quality at least.
But Zootopia is about a society where humans never existed.
Mm-hmm.
Animals are now.
So animals
like
basically
humans.
replaced us.
Yeah,
As an
they act like
evolutionary
humans,
chart.
And it takes place. Your main character is a bunny, who tries to defy the odds, and how she wants to become a ZPD or a Zootopia Police Department officer.
Yeah.
And they've never had a bunny officer before. It's usually like the bigger animals, like
imagine. Yeah, these animals are like elephants, rhinos, wolves.
Wolves is probably like the smallest one.
Smallest
You see
ones, yeah.
tigers, like
Certain ones, yeah.
The carnivores, the predators.
Yeah.
Um,
and it's supposed to set in a place where predators and prey can work together in harmony. It's kind of like that. It's going off that premise where if you look at it, that's right there. It's just about racism in itself.
Yeah.
But it dives into further than that because people, like these animals, start disappearing. When the animals start disappearing, they're wondering what actually happens to the animals. Are they just running away? What are they doing?
Then they later figure out that it's only happening to predators that are disappearing.
Yeah.
And they say like, oh, it's because thousands of years ago they had their
biological instinct
was to, attack and hurt the prey.
Right. To not go into majority of spoilers, we don't want to do that. But the thing is that the majority of the movie is trying to find this case. It's trying to solve the case. And at one point, the movie gets to a certain point, and you think it's going to end. Like it's kind of like that bait and switch ending where you think, oh yeah, that guy's it. But then, in your mind, it's not going to be that way, and that it just completely. Not 180, but
yeah,
that's the only thing I would have a gripe with.
I think
movie.
when kids go to watch this movie, they're gonna be like, oh, it's like a detective case, right?
Yeah.
It's just a detective movie about this bunny cop that is trying to solve this case. When, someone older is gonna understand like all the underlining messages. Like there's racism,
there's drugs, there's sex in it.
Yeah, there's
sexual references, if you want to say that.
Defying the odds.
And the only problem with like Disney movies, these like kids movies these days, and they kind of follow the same formula. Well, movies in general follow it, but this kind of steps back, and the the story is the same, where it is a girl trying to get past the odds of her, because she's
a bunny who's trying to become a cop and prove that bunnies can be good police officers. But then she stumbles across this fox who is like a witness to the
sold. Remember, he sold one of the people that went missing was an otter, and the actual fox had sold him like a little jump pop, which if you don't know the backstory of that, is that he basically buys them in like elephant form, like in bulk, kind of like a mysterious fox, and then sells them in smaller forms to smaller animals. So the smaller animals are thinking that, oh yeah, this should be this price, whereas he buys it at a different price. That's how he's making $250 in profit.
Yeah, it was like $15 for an elephant popsicle,
and he's selling it like $5,
$2 a piece for like gerbils. It looked like, but like he would get like 100 out of them.
Yeah, and then the story goes from there where, so she basically just kind of like hustles him because he hustled her, so she hustles him into trying to find these people. and he has come connections between the bad guy world and our world.
Yeah, because he's like a criminal. This fox is a criminal in a sense where he just hustles people, but so he has like some ties to the criminal like world, but he's not a hard criminal.
Yeah.
And like one of the criminals you meet is this guy called Mr. Big, who ends up being like a small little like mouse.
No, it's like a I think it's a mole. I think it was a mole. But
yeah,
I'm not
but
100% sure.
he's supposed to act like the Godfather. So like kids will be just like, oh, it's funny. Like he talks funny and he's really small, but like he's supposed to like represent the Godfather.
Because they said ice him instead of like I forgot what they say something. They make a reference in Godfather all the time about when they kill when they actually kill somebody.
Yeah, they even reference the part where like in Godfather he's at a wedding.
Yeah.
And he's about to kill someone, and in this one he's about to ice someone at his daughter's wedding. Same
so
thing.
it's the same thing. The movie it's you can get into all those details, which is really nice to know, but it's really nice to because when you're a kid, right, you watch a movie, you go back to it and you're like, wait a minute, there's that in it. You had no idea what it was. It's kind of like this is going to be kind of the most mature version of a Disney movie in a very long time, because it doesn't like some of the themes in the like Lion King or something. You don't know it's Hamlet. You don't know it's this. You don't know it's that when you're younger. You're just watching it for fun. But a lot of kids, especially in our theater, which we work at Imagine, at the Rochester location, there's a lot of kids that came in and were like crying because they didn't know what was going on in the movie.
Yeah, like so not only were these predators disappearing, they were like going, as they called, going savage, which was like going back to their native instincts.
Yes.
Which
biological instincts.
Yeah, their biological instincts. Uh-huh. And then you later figure out like it's something else, and that is what plays on like the racism aspect, is that people start to like be prejudiced towards these predators.
Get these prejudgments in their minds,
thinking that they're all just gonna go savage or whatever. But in reality, it's not their fault. Like someone is making them go savage.
Which then it's funny because the actual racism furthers into the drugs, where I won't tell you details, but the reason why they're doing it, you know, reason right off the bat. It's not because they're just going savage.
Yeah.
Because a drug is making them go savage, and there's like references in that place of if you ever seen the show Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
it has awesome references of Breaking Bad.
They walk into like, it looks just like a bunch of, maybe to kids, like a bunch of like potions and stuff, but you know, it was a meth lab.
Yeah.
In a sense, they walk into a meth lab, and he's wearing the yellow jumpsuit with the air mask.
The actual product is blue.
Yeah, and he gets a knock on the door, and he goes, "It's
Walter and Jesse's here."
From Breaking Bad, Walter White
and Jesse Pinkman.
Yep.
And it's like it's kind of cool like that, how they tie those adult themes into the kids movie, because it's a good time when you can get a kid and adult together
to enjoy the same movie.
And it's hard to do that actually, because I mean, it's we let's just say we're in an era where we're spoiled. We're spoiled with Pixar movies that do the same thing. We're spoiled with these type of movies that exactly do the same thing. They kind of bring both adult and kids together, whereas majority of other movies, like even Deadpool, has a radar rating, but it's majority kids. Majority of older generation, not kids, but majority of like our age, like 20 years to like 40 will love it. Some of the older generation won't understand it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. Whereas this, you could be 70, you could be 1 year old, you're still going to enjoy the movie. You're still going to walk out with the movie with at least enjoyment in it.
Yeah.
And kids will sometimes walk out with it with messages about society.
Like either you'll walk out, if you're real young, with just like the enjoyment of a cartoon movie about how a cop overcomes being a bunny. Yeah, overcomes the odds. Adults will understand that, as well as all the underlying messages to this movie that Disney purposely put in here.
Yeah, it's kind of like we'll talk about the one of them was the nudist club, And people are going to think, like, of course, an animal is nude all the time, right? But this plays off the concept that we're supposed to be civilized, so it's kind of like our nudist people just walking around every day, and the things that they do, they don't show like actual like sexual parts on the animals because that would be weird.
Yeah.
But they do show animal nudity, and it's funny. I think that was probably the weakest kind of joke in the movie because they just kind of like throw it in there, it seems like, and then just like kind of like brush it off a little bit. But like there's some like references of those type of things that adults will definitely enjoy. A kid will not understand it. Either they'll understand it or they'll ask. They'll often ask their mom, "Oh, what does that mean? What does this mean?"
Yeah.
But or they'll just go over their head where they don't even care. But kids were actually afraid of it, which I'm surprised.
Yeah, there's a couple scenes where it shows the animals going savage, and it's like loud noises and growls, and like
They're basically
eerie.
going. It's like them on rabies. Let's just
Yeah.
say that.
And like there's parts like even my girlfriend got scared. Like it was like like there's in a facility looking through like cells of all these like animals that have gone savage, and they look in the cell and they don't see the animal at first.
Oh yeah, and
then
it pops up.
Yeah, it jumps out.
Which is like to us, it's gonna be a cheap chump scare.
Yeah.
But it's kind of fun that where they put those type of things in movies and kids movies, and kids will get scared, and kids did get scared, and they actually a lot of kids were asking for like. I know not a lot of them, but I would say some of the kids were asking, like their parents were asking for refunds because they were so scared of it. Yeah, it was like one or two, but they would like come out and like sit in the lobby and start crying, like not like I'm scared, but like actually physically crying, and I'm like Disney. I mean I don't blame Disney because Disney, this concept is really unique, and an adult will get it. It's kind of like Pixar, which the only problem with this I see is that it could get to the trend where, these adult things are great, right? They always work, and they push that boundary too much.
Yeah, and then
they start
making adult
cartoons instead of kids cartoons. I don't think it'll ever get there because it'll probably get to a time where parents will be like, okay, this is you cross the line. This movie actually, if you think about it, it's almost crossing that line. But it still has those. It still hides it pretty well, so kids won't know the references or even care about the references at all. They won't even ask their mom or dad if they really wanted to. So like, the movie plays well in that aspect. But let's play devil's advocate this time. Why would the movie be bad? I would say the movie would be bad simply because the twist at the end when it jumps from one ending, and then it kind of like goes, we're not ending yet, and it goes for another like 30 minutes where we didn't need that.
Yeah, and it kind of like that last 30 minutes kind of just sums up. Like,
it kind of just was like it was literally like we got to the top of the hill, and we're like we go down a little bit, and then we go back up again. We're like, oh no, there's a bigger hill. There's a bigger hill on the other side. We got to get to the climax still, which you eventually do with the Walter White kind of Breaking Bad references, but. It's kind of a bait and switch, which pisses me off because it's because the twist ending was obviously to me. I don't know if it was everybody else. You saw it coming. You knew that the one guy, I won't tell you who, but the one guy was innocent, and that there was somebody still out there because the movie keeps going on. It doesn't just
like
end.
You obviously know like if he's not it, it's going to be someone who's like you wouldn't think it's
it.
So then you look at this certain character and you're like, it's got to be her.
It's got to be her. Got to be him.
It is him or her, and it's kind of predictable in a sense.
And the thing is that I hate when movies do that, when they just like, we're about to end, oh, wait, hold on.
And then you also see like the fact where like, in like a lot of times in Disney movies and these Pixar movies is that there's two main characters, they'll, be, not together at first, then they'll be friends. But something will cause that friendship to tear apart again, and then they'll resolve it again happily ever after.
Which is good. It's good. It's not. I wouldn't say that thing is good. It's just they play it off in a way, they kind of speed around it in a way where it doesn't focus on there. And it's really hard to create movies these days without those type of somewhat cliche endings. Cliche like parts, and those cliche parts they do like as an adult. You'll pick up on them. You'll be like, okay, I've seen that before. Kids won't care, but for us, like for an adult point of view, it does get tiresome when you see these like easy written. You could write these cliches out of the thing. The thing is that I just realized though is that when they split up, right? They had that cliche thing. It's only because they had that false ending.
Yeah.
So like it all goes back to that false ending where it's just it kind of like goes. It kind of gets to that point where it just goes like, okay, wait, we're gonna end it really quickly, and then the last 30 minutes is just filled with some slow parts and then just really fast parts at the end, which really didn't need to be in there. They could have just showed the actual corporate in the first place, or just kind of sped it up, like, oh wait, I'm trying to help him, and then I know who's bad, or something that way. It just felt rushed. The ending felt rushed.
Yeah, the ending did. The actual official ending.
Official ending, yeah, not the false ending.
Felt very rushed. Like, the minute you find out the bad guy, boom, like, the movie's over.
Over, yeah. And, that's what I'm saying. The bad things about the movie always stems from that area, that false ending. The rest of the movie is perfect. I would give it probably top 5 all time Disney movie, not Pixar movies, Disney movies. If that ending didn't happen, that false ending didn't happen, because it just kind of slows the pace down. Like the pace just goes like way down and then speeds up again at the very end, and it's kind of annoying.
It almost gets you to a part where you think like, yeah, exactly like you said, like the movie's over, like everything starts slowing down, things are getting the way they should be, and then are like, oh, let's hit you with this again, speeds up, goes 0 to 100, and then 100 to 0 real fast.
Yeah, I don't think they would have ever done this. It's too risky for Disney to do. I would have loved if that false ending was the actual ending, but the actual true ending would have happened in like maybe a sequel or something. But they don't know if they're actually going to be a sequel, so they probably just try to end it right away. But it would have been kind of cool if they were like, oh yeah, this guy's bad, this guy's this, and then you find out at the very end, like maybe like an end credit scene or something, that he's actually not bad, and that he's like being falsely accused, and that all these animals because they all get mad at the animals because the animals actually turn into, because they say that the people are whoever's targeting them is because of being predators. We'll just explain that. And it would have been cool if they just would have ended it on there. Like, predators are bad. You should never like predators. We're like kicking them out basically, and it would have ended on that note. And then the new one would have been like, wait, no, that this is actually wrong.
Yeah, that's what happened.
That would be kind of cool. I thought that would have been kind of cool.
But yeah, like for them not to know if they would have make enough money to make a second one. I could see why they didn't do that.
And it's risky to the fact that it just ends, like people would get mad at it and not want to watch the second one if there is a second one. I just thought it would have been cool to see at least that aspect in a Disney movie.
To see a Disney movie whose ending is not happy.
Yeah, because it's kind of like Disney has a problem with all their properties. Star Wars, happy ending, the new one at least.
In a sense, I mean.
Yeah,
Finn does get his back all cut up.
Yeah, but
he didn't die.
He didn't die. Nobody died in the movie besides
Han Solo.
Han Solo, which is
spoiler.
It's not really a spoiler because you should know that by now. If you haven't seen Star Wars, go see it. But like, it ends off in a happy note where Rey's this big guy, a big girl now. She's about to go to the Jedi Temple to help to get Luke to train her and Luke to come back. Marvel properties, nobody dies. There's actually been a running joke of nobody dies in a Marvel movie. And they just kind of like disappear.
I'm hoping Civil War maybe will show some people dying because in the comics,
truly dying. I can say like bringing them back to life, but I want them to die for a couple of movies at least.
Yeah.
Don't be existent for a couple of movies at least. And Disney has that problem with it, and it kind of represents kind of like this where they don't really have it. They always have to have a happy ending to a movie. And I don't think I've ever seen let's just say this. I don't think I've ever seen a Disney movie that hasn't had a happy
I don't think so either. I think all of them have a happy ending in some sense.
Which is nice, but for a PG-13 movie, which is not Zootopia, we're talking about all the other properties. This is just kind of off topic, but we wish the other properties would have like a bad ending because it is PG-13. I could maybe understand because this is why this is actually a PG movie and they gave it a happy ending for kids and stuff. But I thought it would have been cool if they wouldn't like completely like they would have ended it off with a happy ending, but it would have been like a false happy ending where they ended off with a happy ending.
Like everything is not actually perfect. There's still something underlining going on.
Yeah, but the actual movie ends with a happy ending.
Yeah.
And then like the end credit scene shows like maybe like a shadow figure or something.
Something that shows you that like this problem is still here.
And that because it would have been kind of cool because you would have ended off like, hey, like this, we don't know what's happening. We don't know if these predators actually turning bad.
Yeah.
But we could have ended off with like, oh wait, maybe it's just like maybe it's kind of like everybody or something along the lines where it would have been a false happy ending. Would have been great. I think it was great. So I would say I would have put it in my top 10 of Disney movies of all time if it wasn't for those kind of it's not nitpicking. They're not really nitpicking. They're actually kind of structurally something wrong with the actual structure of the ending is wrong. So overall, I would say 9.1. I would say go see it if you're a fan of Disney. Go see it if you're a fan of Disney.
Yeah.
Go see. I say anybody should go see it because anybody can go see this movie and at least come out with some enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, I would give it an 8 because I wouldn't put it in the same like category as in like Inside Out and all them like those cartoon movies.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you said, like it's still an enjoyable movie. Is it one of the best ones? Maybe top 10, not top 5 though.
Yeah, when I say like 9.1, I mean like it's kind of like I'm referring to like an A- almost. I would say A-. I think it's a great movie, or
I think it's a good movie.
Or a very. I would say it's right below great. It's right below great. I'll give it a 9. I'm gonna probably put it actually 9 because 9 is like a standard. It could be great, but it's not. So I would put it like a 9, where it's almost about it could be great. Like just one little thing would have pushed it to be great.
Yeah, that's why I give it an 8. It's not a great movie. It's not a horrible movie.
Alright guys, that's our review of Zootopia. Just to recap, I gave it a 9.1, and my brother gave it a